Good evening everybody, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you like my videos, please smash that like button, please do subscribe. Alexa, what's the time please?
It's 7:17 p.m.
So it's Thursday evening. I'm here by myself with my lovely pets in my flat, and I've just come back from taking Max for a walk. I'd rather do it sooner than later. It's blowing up a storm out there. It really is. It's terrible. It almost blew Max off his feet right at the top of the road near the co-op. The wind almost blew Max into the air. And it almost knocked me over as well. It's really, really bad, that wind. There's a storm outside this evening, so I normally take Max out about 10 to 7. I got engrossed in the local news. It was about Chatham Dockyard. There was a news presenter in Chatham talking about when the Chatham Dockyard shut down in 1984. That was the year before my mum and dad actually moved down to Chatham together, and my sister, because we moved down to Chatham in 1985. So I just got engrossed in the local history. Chatham Dockyard, I saw the ropery, which my dad and I went to the ropery in Chatham. We went there. The old rope making skills. So I was just sat down in the nice warm, watching the news for Medway, and I didn't want to go out there. It's absolutely freezing and it's windy. Good evening everybody. Since I came back this afternoon, I told you I went out to the co-op to get the newspaper. There's been no post today. It's Good Friday tomorrow. I have ordered that boxing machine. Like I said, it's got good reviews, it's got bad reviews, but I want to keep fit and keep my mind occupied and try and I don't want negative things in my life, so I'm trying to do things that make me feel positive and happy. I think someone thinks that they own me, and do you know what I mean? I think someone thinks that they own me, and they don't. I don't belong to anyone. I'm my own person, and I won't be manipulated like a puppet, you know. No one's pulling my strings, you know what I mean? Let's get Crystal going. Let's make her life a misery. Well, I'm happy. I've got a nice big flat. I've got lovely pets. And I have got family. I might not see them, but I do hear from them, and I have got family. My son came down and took me out for lunch last week, wasn't it? I've got an Easter card from my mum, an Easter card from one of my sons, and yeah, you look at the positive things in life, don't you? And I don't want to play silly games. Life's too short to play silly games, right? I'm not looking for anybody. I'm happy by myself, so I don't understand why some people have to make fun of me. So what? If you're not interested in me and you don't like me, then just leave me alone. Everyone has to do their shopping. Everyone has to go out. I don't look at people, to be fair. I don't go around staring at people in shops and seeing what they look like. I haven't got time. You know, we all come in different shapes and sizes. you know, we all have things wrong with us. Everyone's got a slight flaw somewhere. People cover up their flaws with makeup. They cover up their flaws with hair extensions. They cover up their flaws with, you just don't see. What is on the outside might not be real. I'm not being funny. I prefer to be myself. I'm not covering up what has happened to me. These things have happened to me. I've pulled through them. I'm proud of myself, and it's not up to anybody else to walk my shoes, to walk my path. And I can guarantee that a lot of people wouldn't have survived if they'd have actually gone what things that I've gone through. They'd have collapsed and just given up. I've lost my home 4 times. 4. And I've started from scratch and built myself up again. I've lost my children. I had to learn to live without my children. And that's tough. That's really, really difficult. Right? I have been battered. I've been left for dead. I'm a strong person. Yes, I get up. I don't stay on the floor. I get up. And when someone puts me down, I might feel upset for all of 10 minutes while it's happened. And then I just pull myself back up again. Because I'm better than the person that's bullying me. I'm 10 times better, 1,000,000 times better than a bully that has no respect for their own self. So I'm back now. I've taken Max out for a walk. It's really windy and it's stormy. I'm not anybody's toy. I'm my own person, right? And I've been through a lot. And you want to take the piss? You take the piss. I'm better than that. I ain't going to do anything. Unless, if you come up to my face and you get into my personal space and you upset me, then I will intervene. But when people are doing it from afar, behind my back, hiding behind bushes, whatever, just get on with it. It's silly. Now, tonight, what I normally do is, so Easter's like a weekend. I live by myself. I get on with it because I don't drag myself down to these bullies' level. And I'm no one's property, so I'll probably see what's on the television, listen to a bit of radio, and other people's business is not my business. Only when it interferes in my life and it's affecting me do I do something about it. Right? I've got more than a bully. I've got self-respect and I care about people and I don't like hurting other people, so I'm miles better than a bully anyway. So if that's what floats their boat, if that's what they like spending their time doing, I feel sorry for them. That's all I'm going to say. So I hope everybody has a lovely Thursday evening. It's Good Friday tomorrow. I just intend to relax in my own home. It is an ordinary day for me. A bank holiday, Christmas, birthday. It's just an ordinary day for me. It is when you live by yourself. Right? This is circumstances, this is what happens, and I'm getting on with it. And I have ordered myself that punch machine that plays music, and I'll occupy my time with that. And I get up in the morning, I look forward to going for a walk with my dog, smelling the fresh air, looking at the scenery and getting pleasure from just being alive, right? That's me. I don't want to fight, I don't want to argue, I don't want to be cross, and I don't want to be miserable. anymore. If that's okay with the bully, that would be cool. Right, so yes, we are going to have some treats over Easter, and then we're going to get to the keep fit regime with eating healthily. But you know, it's Easter, and you want to have an Easter egg, and you want to enjoy yourself over Easter. So when Easter's finished, I'm going to get into a keep fit regime and eat healthily properly. I have been having Benecol to reduce my cholesterol. I've got 2 calls over the Easter period from the doctors over the telephone, and another one as well. So 3 doctors' consultations, one about my medication, one about my pelvic scan, and one about whether I should be put on statins. So I wish the bully happiness. I wish that they got rid of the chip on their shoulder and the grudge against me and just got on with their own life, and they'd feel much happier for it. Alexa, LBC Radio.
LBC London from Global Player.
Matters in the last days, they know it's all how the heart is getting on. It's getting weaker, and they monitor all of that. And they adjust it, well, you probably will do. They adjust the drugs to accommodate that. They're not making them, completely blah, 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 but until that is necessary. But what makes me a little bit concerned is, how do you ask anyone to kill them? I mean, to work. Well, I don't know how you do it. I would like to be asked because I'd have to say no. Because I do.
And that would be entirely your decision. That would be entirely your decision. But I would argue that I, as an individual who is in control of his own body and his own mind, I ought to be in a position to make that choice myself.
But could a family member or even a friend could sort of convince someone who's not completely well, far from well, that maybe they should consider this to accommodate what they require, as opposed to what the individual really requires?
Well, and that's for legislation to determine, isn't it? Because I agree, there have to be those safeguards. Alex, thank you very much indeed. Let's get our business roundup now from Justin Lockett-Stewart, co-founder of the Regionally Investment Platform. Justin, very good evening. Now the Crypto King gets 25 years jail in the US. Who is the Crypto King?
Well, this is the gentleman who has finally been brought to justice on the basis of quite how much money he managed to defraud. This is a young man who's actually been obviously highly intelligent, had been able to develop a business based on crypto, how he could develop that, and actually have a platform so other people could trade on it. The theory was absolutely right. On a slightly technical hitch, he was actually committing fraud by taking money out of that and putting that into another account, actually a hedge fund, to carry on trading. Meanwhile, those other people had lost with the collapse of the exchange all their investments in there to a great extent, and so it's actually put crypto usage into the spotlight again for, I think, very good reasons. And how does it actually work? Does it really benefit people? Does it really help the economy? And so most of that, the answer is no. Even environmentally, it costs so much electrical power to actually run crypto, it's not worth it. So this man, therefore, they thought he might get 40 years, but 25 years, but he's already in his 30s, so he's not going to see much daylight after that.
Now, just very briefly on this, because we're going to talk about it after 7:30, Thames Water seems to be on the brink of collapse.
Yeah, it's a fascinating issue, this, and it applies to all sorts of examples I can give you about Manchester United. How companies behave raising capital, particularly in terms of the takeovers. So what they did in Manchester United with Glazers actually borrowed money to go and buy Manchester United, and meanwhile then loaded a load of loans onto it, so it cost them nothing. What was been happening with the water companies, particularly Thames Water, exactly the same. A perfectly good, strong balance sheet, lots of cash, gets privatised, and you see the unacceptable face of capitalism here, because what they probably do is go out and create an awful lot of loans, put that on the balance sheet, so the shareholders benefit from this wonderful windfall coming through, Meanwhile, our largest water and sewage company is teetering on the edge because of this. This is an old story, it's been rumbling for a long time. And what it shows is either business is behaving badly, which to assume I think is probably true, but also the regulators have no teeth. They saw it was there, we told them off enough, and they did nothing about it.
Now, there are goods shortages already being caused by the collapse of that bridge in Baltimore.
There are indeed one example of how quickly this affects us. You only have to look at that unfortunate container ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal and how that affected global trade. They put up extra costs. Companies having to go ship round the Cape of Good Hope by South Africa, added extra cost, means the ships are in the wrong place. So the knock-on effects for all those other areas of trade are really very significant indeed. We haven't seen the last of this. If it follows what happens next, we could actually see the delayed trade in Baltimore, the largest port on the east side of the States. That affects other countries, other trading ability, and also probably increase costs as well. And go back to that awful thing of, oh my God, not inflation again. If it hasn't gone away, it could just get worse.
Justin, thank you. That's Justin Urquhart-Stewart from the Regionally Investment Platform. Coming up at 8 on LBC, I'm going to be talking to Tony Sewell, Lord Sewell, who's written a book called Black Success, The Surprising Truth. Now, you may remember he penned a report for the Boris Johnson government on racial and ethnic disparities after the murder of that policeman in America, George Floyd. So lots to talk to him about. He'll be taking your calls as well. It's 7:33 news headlines on LBC with Tim Humphrey.
The head of Thames Water is not ruling out customer bills going up by 40%. The company, which serves around a quarter of the UK's population, is £15 billion in debt and shareholders have refused to help pay it. A cryptocurrency chief has been jailed for 25 years for what's being described as one of America's biggest financial frauds. Sam Bankman-Fried stole at least £8 billion from customers and investors when his FTX exchange folded in 2022. A man's been arrested after a siege in southeast London. Police spent more than 50 hours negotiating with a person inside a property in Catford with a gas canister over fears he'd harm himself or others. LBC weather, blustery showers continuing this evening with a risk of hail, becoming drier with clear spells later on and a low of 3 degrees.
LBC. Here we go again. Running a small business, I should be used to early mornings. Gotta stay ahead of it.
Right guys, I'm going to get on with the rest of my evening, and I wish everybody else a good evening. See you later.